What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Trombone MQ here. So in today's video, I am going to be changing my power steering fluid. So I think with power steering fluid, I think it's one of the fluid that most people kind of just ignore, because I guess it's not as important as, say, your engine oil and say your brake fluid and stuff like that. But still, I want to change out my power steering fluid. So as you can see, this is a power steering reservoir, and it says on there, use this ATF automatic transmission fluid to fill your power steering fluid. So on your G35 350Z owner's manual, it says it would take 1 liter to fill the power steering system. But in reality, if you want to do a power steering flush, you would end up using I assume 1/2 liter to 2 liter. But yeah, I've heard people getting real good result from doing the power steering oil change. The steering feels nice and crisp and smooth, just feels a hell of a lot better than before. So I'm going to quickly show you guys. This is the power steering fluid that I'm going to use. So just make sure your power steering says ATF this, I don't know how you say it, but it's also specified. So just make sure your power steering fluid matches with what the pump requires. So first thing first, if you want, you can just use a I don't know what you call it, I think turtle base or something. I can't remember what you call it, but you can use that. Just simple as sucking the fluid out and then replace the fluid that is already in the reservoir. But since I want to do a cleaner flush, I wanted to jack the car up so I can get a bit of more fluid out of the reservoir. Alright guys, as you can see, the front of the car is all jacked up. That allows us to move the wheel freely, so then it can pump more power steering fluid into the reservoir, so we can do a cleaner flush. Guys, so you can see I can't really get the bottom parts out, so what I'm gonna do is, all your steering power steering pump would have 2 hoses. So this is a hose that connects to your power steering pump, this is the return hose. So as you guys can see, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump in the car and turn the steering wheel all the way to the left, all the way to the right, just to squeeze a bit more oil from the pump to the reservoir. And then I'm gonna undo the return clamp so I can do a clean flush. Alright, so now I'm gonna undo the return hose, but before doing that, you can see there's a clip here, so you just pull on it and then you can dislocate the power steering reservoir, so it makes the job easier for yourself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the oil in there, and then while turning the steering wheel, the oil would go through the power steering pump and then back to return line. But since our return line is disconnected, that oil will be drained out. So just keep an eye on your fluid that is drained out. When it gets clear, that means the whole system is fully flushed and good to go. So you can use a screwdriver and just to pry on that. While you're doing that, use another hand to pull on the pump. So alright, right, so now the pump is off the bracket, so I'll just undo that clamp, and then just be careful because there's still fluid in there, you don't want to make a mess. So grab a rag. Alright, so all the fluid in the reservoir has all been drained out. As you guys can see, I did make a tiny bit of mess, but nothing major. So now I'm gonna have to block that end, so when you're flushing the new fluid, you don't want the fluid to leak from there. So I kind of just came with the idea using the Glad wrap. I'm gonna put that there, and then I'm gonna use a zip tie to zip tie it, so hopefully it won't leak on me. So as you guys can see, the return line I've actually bent it downwards, so later on I can just drain the fluid straight into this clear glass bottle. Then I'll know exactly when I can stop flushing. So now getting underneath the car, so you can see this is a plastic piece of panel, the one I'm shining on, and then you have two bolts to undo, which are here. Not bolts, but like plastic clips. So after you undo those two, you can zip tie it to the radiator, so it gives you enough room to let the oil drain out. That is the return line. So later when I turn my steering wheel to the left, to the right, there will be oil pumping out of there. Alright, so I made a little run channel, so that's the pipe. So hopefully I'll be able to catch all the power steering fluid. Alright, so I'm just gonna put you guys here. I'll fill up the oil in the reservoir because you never want to run dry, and I'm gonna turn the turn the steering. Hopefully I don't make a big mess. Alright guys, so I've only got about 380 ml left, so I'm gonna stop flushing. I'm gonna connect the return hose back to there, so there is no leak on the return plug, so that's good. And I'm gonna fill up the reservoir, but if while you're flushing, say when you finish flushing and there's still quite a bit of fluid left in there, it's best to suck the fluid out of the reservoir and refill it, because there's not really any way to reconnect that without spilling. Alright, so I've just reconnected the hose. I'll fill up the reservoir. Just make sure when you fill it up to the cold maximum instead of the hot maximum. Obviously if your car is cold. The cap back on and then slide it back into his. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the wheel from the left to the right, back and forth a couple of times, just in case if there are any air in the system, and after that refill the reservoir. Again, I've only got a 1 liter bottle, so only flush 1 liter. However, if you want a proper flush, like high standard, pretty much completely get rid of the old fluid, you probably need 5 liter or 4 liter. But yeah, I'm happy with just flushing 1 bottle of power steering fluid. So now I'm gonna turn the steering wheel. you can see it's below the maximum. Obviously the car is on a floor level, but I'm gonna fill it up to roughly to the max. Pretty much I'm right on the max level. Also remember, you want to check for leaks, make sure there's no leaking. Alright, so as you guys can see, the level remained the same, so that's good. Pretty much now you just want to lower the car and take it for a test drive. Alright, it's pretty much been about 24 hours since the last clip, and I've been driving the car, and I definitely can feel a difference, but the car feels like the steering feels smoother and definitely more direct. I would say if your car haven't had a steering fluid done before, it would definitely be a huge difference. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.